Hey everybody. We'll go ahead and get started here in just a moment. As you can tell, we're finally back in New York. Let's do the quick audio check and the visual check. So if you could hear us and if we're streaming in 1080p, just go ahead and give it a thumbs up in the chat and we'll go ahead and get started here in a moment. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful Saturday, wonderful weekend, and we'll get started here in a moment. Thanks everybody, and welcome back to New York. All right, I think we can go ahead and get started here, everybody. So good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Walks and Wall Street. Today is a beautiful Saturday night right here in New York City. It is June 8th, 2024. It's about 9:12 p.m. Eastern Time, and we are reporting live directly outside of the beautiful, wait for it, right here, the Sherry Netherland Hotel. One of my favorite places in all of New York City, right here on 5th Avenue and Central Park South. Now, before we get started, actually, I want to, before we dive right into the live stream, I want to start off by saying a big thank you to one of our viewers, Theo, for sending me honestly one of the best, if not the best, trading books of all time. This is actually the first book that was ever given to me by a hedge fund manager who I'm still friends with to this day. The book is called Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. Now, this book is based on the life of Jesse Livermore, arguably one of the greatest traders of all time. This was back in the day where you had to physically go into bucket shops, is what they called them, to trade stocks. And the forward of this book, well, this is a special edition of the book. The forward is by Paul Tudor Jones, who is, again, quite regarded to be one of the best traders and investors of our time. Anyway, he is the CEO and founder of Tudor Investments. So if anybody who's watching this broadcast is interested in the financial business, financial markets, trading equities, commodities specifically, maybe you want to do it as a retail trader, trade for yourself, or maybe you want to be an institutional level trader, work at a big bank, family office, or hedge fund and run institutional money. This is probably one of the first books you should read, and you should probably reread it at least once a year. If you can find it, this is a pretty rare issue. I would highly recommend to order the forward by Paul Tudor Jones. Now, rumor has it, and it's actually stated in this book, if you read the forward by Paul, he says anytime he hires somebody as a trader at Tudor Investments, the first task or the first assignment he gives to all new employees is to read from cover to cover Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. And Jesse Livermore, unfortunately, right in this building right here, killed himself in the cloakroom of the Sherry Netherland. Anyway, so big thank you to Theo. I came back from Miami and the book, I had a big package on my desk and the book was right there. So very appreciative of that kind gesture. All right, we'll do a quick recap of the markets. S&P 500 last week hit a new all-time record high. Now, the trading day on Friday was a little bit lackluster. We hit an intraday new all-time record high at 5,375. We closed pretty much mid-range of the day at 5,346. NVIDIA, NVDA, which is pretty much your true market leader, is looking at least intermediately toppy here. You had that big breakout, a gap up from that base right around $958. The stock gapped up to around 1,000 and ran all the way to 1,200. You're seeing a lot of volume come out of that stock. A lot of big players on Wall Street are taking profits there, selling that position down. If we look over at the DJI, or the Dow Jones Industrial Average, we closed at 38,799. The all-time record high on the Dow is 40,052. This was all the way back, well, not all the way back, this was right around May 20th. So we hit 40,000 on the Dow. We've come all the way down to about 38, rallied back to 38,799. Last but not least, the NDX, or the NASDAQ 100. Last week hit a new all-time record high. Friday closed at an intraday all-time record high at 19,117. We closed the week at 19,000 on the money. I want to take a look at gold because gold is actually having some pretty volatile trading here over the weekend, down about 4%. Big green candle, about an $81 candle on gold to the downside, still trading above 2,200 at 2,293. Last but not least, before we kick this off, I know it's Saturday, but we do need to take a look at crude oil, trading at $75 a barrel. I actually lied to all of you. We do have one more thing to cover. Thursday night, so if you think back a few days ago, Thursday right around 6 p.m., we sent out the Behind the Street newsletter, which is our free bi-weekly investing newsletter. So go ahead and check your email. We took a little bit of a different twist this week as it regards to the Behind the Street newsletter. We really did a deep dive into market psychology. As we know, the S&P 500 is up over 15% this year, but the vast majority of Americans actually believe the stock market is down. We did a deep dive analysis of exactly why that may be. We talked about the percentage of stocks that are held by the top 10% of Americans, which can provide us some clues as to why we have such a bifurcated market as it relates to consumer sentiment. So go ahead and check that out. If you have not subscribed to our Behind the Street newsletter yet, you can do so by scanning the QR code on your screen and punching in your email. Again, this was a very, very thorough report, although short report, on the consequences of ZIRP, or zero interest rate policy, going back to the 2008 financial crisis, how the Federal Reserve brought us out of that crisis, all while creating the greatest wealth divide this country has ever seen. So go ahead and check it out, and thank you for 5,000 readers. We now have 5,000 retail traders, average everyday people, and institutional investors reading our research every other Thursday. So I appreciate it. Thank you for all your support, and let's go ahead and get the stream started. Thanks, everybody. And welcome back to New York City, by the way. I'm happy to be back. Very nice weather, very nice people, pretty good crowd. You know what, before I forget, let me turn off the Wi-Fi. I know that's been an issue as of late, let's just say. Shot. I see Nick, Western Mass Dave, welcome back to New York City. Esteban, what's up? I see Sharon, always a pleasure, always a pleasure. Alan is here. I see Sally, Sunshine After Rain. Lance, DBZ, welcome. 3T3, thanks so much for joining us. MD, good to see you. That's right, yeah, NVIDIA is going to be going under a stock split. All right, let me get this QR code out of the way. Peter says, Tom, when is your first Investors Business Daily article coming out? TBD, to be determined. To be determined, but probably in July. Currently working through a few things. What I'll say about it is there's a big difference between writing and owning your own stuff. Like in the newsletter, I say what I want. Not to say that if you write for another publication, they force you to think a certain way or say something a certain way, but it's just you have a lot more freedom when you own your own infrastructure like I do here. But I'm very excited, and you'll probably see that coming out very, very soon. Everybody, this is Central Park South. What's beautiful about now in the summer is it's 9 o'clock at night and it's still pretty light out. I mean, the sun is just setting. You're overlooking the Deutsche Bank towers here. If we turn the other way, you have the main Apple store here on 5th Avenue, and you have the beautiful 432 Park. Natalie, Patricia Johnson, what's up? Lance, Alice, Sharon Mohammed says hello, Tom, from Egypt. Dante Rose, Janice S, what's going on? Carl, yeah, I'm happy to be back in New York. I really did enjoy my time in Miami. Every single time that I go back, I'm just more and more impressed with the city. I think what struck me the most about this trip to Miami, and let's actually cross and walk down Central Park South for our first night back, is the amount of people there around this time of year. Now, usually, particularly if you're familiar with Southern Florida, like Bal Harbor, Surfside, Miami Beach, downtown Miami, Brickell, just think South Florida in general. This time of year, which is the summer, really kind of empties out down there. Now, I don't want to say it's like almost nobody's there, but 9 times out of 10, you can notice a big difference. And I think if you've traveled to Florida, or maybe you're from there, I think you'd agree with me that there is a big difference in traffic. You just notice it. A lot less people in the summer months, which, not for nothing, a lot of locals kind of look forward to the summer because the roads are less crowded, you're not going to have as much traffic, the restaurants are going to be less packed, and it's just going to kind of be a little bit of a nice reprieve for you. I will say this time, it's almost as if it's the same amount of population as when you had in the winter, which is leading me to believe that this trend of growth in Miami probably has some legs and probably has some pretty good staying power. So, Real Art Manifest says, hey Tom, you're back in time for the Puerto Rican Day Parade tomorrow. Oh, I thought that was today. Is the Puerto Rican Day Parade tomorrow, or was that today? Because what time was this? It must have been around, I want to say 11:30, 12. There was some big parade coming down 5th Avenue. I don't know, I mean, it could have been the Puerto Rican Day Parade, maybe it wasn't, but, well, cool. I mean, maybe there's more stuff coming tomorrow. Definitely excited about that. DC322 says it is tomorrow. Well, there was a big parade today. Western Mass Dave says, oh, of course, Tom, Miami is certainly growing. Carl Roth says, Tom, snowbirds are away now from Miami. Canadian weather is nice again. Well, it's interesting because I've been seeing a lot of Canadian plates down there still. So maybe people are either living in Miami or South Florida for longer. Maybe that's where they've established permanent residence. I don't know, but traffic was crazy when I was just down there for the last week. I don't notice the traffic too much on the Vespa, and I know I'm not supposed to go in and out of the cars. But sometimes, I can't help myself. Sometimes, if it's a red light or you're in a massive long line of traffic, you can get up on the medium, not really the medium, the shoulder, I should say, and go all the way to the front. That's what a lot of the scooters and the Vespas do. Esteban's Ghostbusters 40th anniversary. So that's why there was a crowd of people today walking around dressed up as Ghostbusters outfits. If you were in Midtown Manhattan today, Broadway headed up to 59th Street, you would have seen the outfits that they wore in the Ghostbusters movie. I thought it was just for random, but I guess it's because of the 40th anniversary thing. All right, let's look to the left. Here's 6th Avenue, Avenue of the Americas. RVs has visited shops of Midtown today. Biscayne to the seawall is all super talls. It's amazing, yeah. And there's going to be a lot more coming too. Lots more coming. Joshua, welcome. Stephen Bates, his Canadian weather is cold this spring. I mean, I love Canada, don't get me wrong. Absolutely love our Canadian friends to the north. I don't know if I could live there in that country. Not a big fan of the cold weather, but I guess you get acclimated to it as the years go on, I guess. Hey, what's up, Lee? Good to see you. Speaking of a Miamian. I know, right? I'm actively incriminating myself on the live broadcast. All right, let's walk down one more since I don't want to have the patience to wait at this light. Come on 1 second. You know, we might as well take a little bit of a detour down New York City's Billionaires Row, 57th Street. And if we have enough bandwidth, let's go to the Lower East Side tonight. I don't think we've been to the Lower East Side on a live broadcast since I started this stream. And the Lower East Side is probably going to be rocking tonight. Now, this building that you see here is the Steinway Tower. This is the skinniest residential apartment building in the entire world. And this is Trump Park, 106 Central Park South, which is a great building. The little tiny building that's kind of attached to it is Trump Park East, also another good building. A little older, but a good building nonetheless. Hey, New England Crypto, what's going on? Hope you're having a good weekend. It's our first night back in New York. Taking a little bit of a stroll around through Midtown. Now, the tourist traffic today was crazy. Crazy. I was in Bryant Park, really busy. So I think my guesstimations will be proved correct. This is probably going to be the most touristed summer in New York City's history. There's just so many people out today. Weather permitting, of course. Hey, Eric's is going to New York for the first time in February 2025. Trying to learn all the good spots before I go. Awesome. Excited to have you. I think you're going to love it. February is not my favorite time. I probably wouldn't recommend February, but I think you'll have a good time regardless. Who knows? Maybe you like the cold. Maybe you know, you could take advantage of the ice skating rink in Central Park, Rockefeller Center. But I will say this: there's no place in the world like New York City in the summer. It's just the truth. I mean, this place is absolutely amazing. There you can see 432 Park, once again. Also the very top of the Amman, New York, which, by the way, they're building an Amman in Miami Beach, right on 42nd, I think, in Mid Beach. I guess they definitely have the appetite for it. This is 57th Street, Billionaires Row. Eric says, yeah, it was the cheapest, and yeah, I love the cold. Well, then definitely a good pairing there. I would suggest checking out all the stuff that you could do inside. Hudson Yards, it's really fun during the winter, although how you get there is like a wind tunnel and it's very, very cold. But it's like a big indoor mall, lots of stuff to do. I think you'll enjoy it. Let's go all the way to Carnegie Hall. Let's see if there's any shows getting out. And then we'll make the left down Broadway. You're also about to see the Russian Tea Room too. This is kind of the main drag here on New York City's Billionaires Row for all of those who are new to the channel. Keith, Tom, if you catch live music, what are your favorite venues? I'm not a big concert guy, Keith, but what I can tell you is that I do like the very private and secluded jazz bars. I really, really do like those. There's one that I'd recommend. It's called Tomi Jazz, T-O-M-I Jazz. Although there's pretty much always a wait list to get in. That's a really cool place to go during the winter too. T-O-M-I and then Jazz. It's in Midtown East. I think it's on, like, on West 53rd Street, I think. Here's the Steinway Tower. Once again, the skinniest residential apartment building in the world. There's also another good spot. We'll wait for the ambulance to go by. So there's another really good spot in Grand Central Station. It's called the Campbell Apartments or the Campbell Bar. And during the holidays, they have like a pianist and they have a cello, person who plays the cello in there on the weekends. And my God, is that place beautiful. So I don't really go to big crowded events. I don't really like those things. But those are probably my top two places if there's going to be live music. There's always live music at Tomi Jazz, but the other place is really amazing too. The Campbell Apartments inside Grand Central Station. All right, everybody. The building that we're looking at right now, unfortunately with all the scaffolding covering it, this is 157, so 157 West 57th Street. This is the Park Hyatt. There's two entrances. This door right here is the Park Hyatt, the best hotel in New York, in my opinion. And then the other door to the left, that's where the residences go. And this was the first building ever constructed on New York City's Billionaires Row by Extel. The developer is Gary Burnett. His company is Extel. And he also developed this building, which is the tallest building on Billionaires Row, Central Park Tower, 217 West 57th Street. So you have 157 West 57th Street, and then you have Central Park Tower. Now the building with the gold top, that's Vornado. So that's 220 Central Park South. That is the best-selling building on Billionaires Row that commands the highest price per square foot. But if you're coming to New York City and you have a big budget, let's say if you want to blow, you have money to spend, in my opinion, I think the Park Hyatt New York is the best hotel. The amenities are amazing. It shares the amenities with, obviously, the residences. The restaurant is really good. I actually just ate at the restaurant tonight. The restaurant's called The Living Room. I bring clients there a lot. They have great staff. I mean, I know all the staff. The staff, just such kind-hearted people. Really, really good hospitality. I just think Hyatt as the brand is a very, very good, well-run company. Great earnings, by the way. Hyatt is publicly traded under the ticker symbol H. And their stock price has actually been doing really good throughout 2023 and 2024. Right here, everybody, is Carnegie Hall, right on the corner of West 57th Street and 7th Avenue. This is one of the famous, probably one of the most famous buildings, not only in New York, but arguably in the United States, for sure. It's unfortunate that there's all this nasty looking scaffolding all over it, but once the scaffolding comes down, this place is going to look great because they were doing some masonry work on the facade. Hey, New England Crypto, this is Tom. That mini bar in Miami looked fun. Watched that video earlier today. Yeah, if New England Crypto, if you're in South Beach, I think it's called the Meridian Hotel. I've never stayed at the hotel. I've been to that bar. It's called the Mini Bar. Such a cool place. It only fits, I think there's only like 15 people are able to fit in there. But talk about a really, really cool spot. If anybody's visiting South Beach in Miami and you want kind of like a underground, like very cool Miami vibe, check out the Mini Bar on the corner of 5th. Yeah, I think it's on the corner of 5th Street and Meridian Avenue. It's really cool. Hey, Joe C is here. What's going on? Thanks for joining us. Eric says that, yeah, Eric, that he was. Oh, you know what, Eric? I have another recommendation for you. Let's just wait for this red light. Well, I guess I'll ask you a question first before I just recommend you a bunch of stuff. Are you a big museum guy? Because some people don't like museums, and I respect that. Now, if you like museums, and in my view, the best time to go to a museum is when the weather is horrible. Thanks, that was an abrupt stop by that guy. And you're interested in, about essentially the foundings of American capitalism, the backbone of the boom of the Industrial Revolution, check out the Frick Collection. Hopefully, the renovations will be finished on the actual building. So Henry Clay Frick, right, one of the most successful people during the Industrial Revolution, hold on. See, sometimes these people blow these lights when they're not supposed to. I'm still in my Miami driver mode because they are some of the worst drivers I've ever seen. In any event, so check out the Henry Clay Frick Collection. It's such a fascinating place, and his mansion, Henry Clay Frick, is right on 72nd Street and 5th Avenue. Now, inside his mansion is all of the exhibits, the artifacts, but the best part about the museum in and of itself is the house. It's just unreal. It's unreal to even think that somebody could possibly have lived there at one point. So check it out, the Frick Collection. Now, if you're big into architecture, like I am, maybe pay a visit right here to where we're standing. 7th Avenue and 58th Street. The exact address is 180 West 58th. This is Alwyn Court. Such a beautiful building, and it's kind of a nice contrast to that big building right behind it, which is 157. Hey, Emil Carr says, hey Tom, greetings from Argentina. Good to see you. What's going on? Thanks for joining us and welcome back to New York City. JK, what's going on? Doc 7 says, Tom, what have you heard about the new Vornado project in Miami with Citadel? Not too much. I should say not too much more, but I'm excited. Generally speaking, I'm very excited for what's to come for the new Citadel Securities Tower, which is going to be right off of Brickell Avenue. It's a waterfront property. That thing's going to be unbelievable. Now, what's it called? The temporary headquarters of Citadel from my recollection, is the 200 Southeast Financial Center on the 20th floor. Somebody told me that they moved, so maybe they moved to a different temporary headquarters in Brickell. But when I was working in the Southeast Financial Center, there were the Citadel was there. Kathleen says the Frick is still closed for renovation. It's too bad. So you could still go to the Frick collection, but the actual building or the mansion that sits on 72nd and 5th Avenue is undergoing extensive renovation. But they have a satellite location just about 4.5 blocks north where you can see all the exhibits and kind of all that cool stuff. Hey, Maxim says hello from Quebec. Brad's brain. This is all right, Tom. We're going to see an upmarket this week. I don't know. It's Saturday. We don't talk markets, but what are your feelings? Next week? Maybe. I mean, this is about as strong of a market as I've ever seen. But in a lot of the leaders, you've been seeing a lot of selling pressure there, particularly with the one and only top dog, NVIDIA. So we'll see. You know, gold. If you look at gold, massive, about $83 candle to the downside, still above 2,200. But with a massive move like that to the downside in gold, you would think that it would take a bigger chunk and spill over into Bitcoin, but it's kind of held up, I should say, relatively well. We'll see. I don't know, what do you think? All right, speaking of Billionaires Row, this is 220 Central Park South. This is the back entrance. It's such an incredible building to look at in person, up close. For those of you who are new here, I always recommend, well, I've always recommended this book. If you're interested in New York City real estate, how these massive buildings are built, and the battles that go about behind the scenes that really nobody knows about, check out this book called Billionaires Row by Catherine Clark. Now, Catherine Clark is, I should say, the most notable real estate journalist for the Wall Street Journal. And Billionaires Row is a book that is just a comprehensive case-by-case timeline of how all of these buildings, the most exclusive, the most expensive real estate, not only in New York City, but in the world, how it came to be. So this is 220 Central Park South, which I believe has the most iconic address and the most valuable address. To have kind of that name Central Park South attached to wherever you're living, you know, that's just worth its weight in gold in and of itself. But this is kind of a cool setup because the building to your left, that's Central Park Tower. Now, I tell this story all the time, but we do have a lot of new people here. There's an interesting story about why these buildings are a little bit off-centered of one another. So the CEO of Vornado, Steve Roth, and the CEO of Extel, Gary Burnett, they had a little bit of a dinner together. They had a meeting. And long story short, you can read the book, I won't spoil it too much. But at dinner, Gary Burnett's like, look, you have plans to build your tower directly in front of mine, blocking my Central Park views. And Steve's like, well, yeah, well, you have plans to build a tower directly behind mine, blocking my Midtown Manhattan views. And he's like, fair. He's like, so how about we do this? You move your tower over, and I'll move my tower over so I can preserve my Central Park views, and you can preserve your Midtown Manhattan views. And they agreed on a handshake over dinner, and that's why you kind of have these two buildings a little bit off-centered, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, in my view, Extel is one of the best development companies in the world, I should say. They have amazing products, great build quality, great finishes. They always bring in great designers and architects. You know, they've done 157, Central Park Tower, 1 Manhattan Square, which is a pretty nice building. It has a lot of units though. I think it has over 800 units at 1 Manhattan Square. But still a nice building nonetheless. That's all the way down, just off to the right of the Manhattan Bridge. This is looking up towards Columbus Circle. And that big building, this big black building right here, is the Trump International Hotel and Tower. Now the first 16 stories, which you can kind of tell, which is this block here with all the lights on, that's the hotel. Everything else above is residences who own condos there. Lots of international buyers there too. Hey, what's up, Peter? Good to see you. Doc Seven says, imagine being at that dinner. Now, speaking of dinner, this is another good shot of 220 Central Park South. But if you ever have the opportunity to go inside Central Park Tower, go up to the 100 Cubed Club. On the 100th floor, there's this magnificent restaurant with arguably some of the best views of Central Park and Midtown Manhattan I've ever seen. So if you know anybody who lives at Central Park Tower or 157, maybe you could accompany them as a guest at the 100 Cubed Club at the 100th floor. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable place. Hey, what's up, Colton Manning? Welcome back to New York. Yeah, I heard about that. Look, I think it's good. Somebody's asking about Citadel going on a take on the bigwigs, New York Stock Exchange and the like, to create their own exchange in Texas. I think it's good. More competition is good. Now, there was a lot of backlash from retail traders and investors who, for some reason, don't like Citadel, but I think overall it's very good. So let's walk directly down Broadway. You know, I almost forgot, there's another really interesting Extel development that's currently being built right now. And we're gonna walk past it. We'll actually walk past the construction site on 8th Avenue. Now, I've said it a million times, but again, we do have some new viewers here. Go ahead and go on Google and search an image of the Torch. So just type in the Torch New York City or the Torch NYC Extel, and the renderings of that building are already up. So it's 850 hotel units it's gonna be. And on the top, they're gonna have this drop ride attraction, kind of like how they have in Vegas. And the building quite literally resembles a torch. It is, well, we'll see how it fits in the Manhattan skyline. Maybe it'll grow on me over time, but it's pretty wild. So let's go ahead and cross the street, and then we'll bang a right down Broadway, and you'll see the Ed Sullivan Theater, which is where Stephen Colbert has his show. Hey, Steve from Buffalo says, hey Tom, we just made our reservations for New York City, the 4th of July. Awesome. Yeah, Steve, you were telling me that they are bringing back the fireworks this year over the Hudson River. I didn't even know that. That's probably the most optimal place to have it, in my view. Lots of space for people to watch it. When you have it on the east side, not a lot of public spaces to watch it. But you know, you have that entire Hudson River Park. I think it's a good idea that they moved it back. Hey, Michelle K, what's going on? Michelle Henry says this will be interesting, the Torch building. I think so too. What's going to be most interesting is how it kind of vibes with the original skyline in New York City. That's like a very, very futuristic step. That's kind of like a building you would see that I could believe that would go up in Miami, right? More of a future-focused design. I think New York is a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? New York is a little bit more original, classic. I wanted to use the term upscale, but that could kind of be misconstrued. But I think you know what I'm talking about. It's more like buttoned up kind of architecture. But we'll see. See what happens. So you guys see where the Serafina is? Right here? You guys see this building? Which is a beautiful building, by the way. The building right next to it is in the process of being demolished. It's an internal demolition. Now that used to be the headquarters of Bad Boy Entertainment. And I think we all know why the connections of Bad Boy Entertainment are in the news, right? Sean Diddy Combs. This used to be his main headquarters right here. And you can see the building is pretty much almost totally demolished. Let's cross the street to take a look at it. But I remember being a kid and walking directly past here, and you have that main awning that would say Bad Boy Worldwide, Bad Boy Entertainment. And now it's coming down. I think Xtel bought this as well. I think this was Gary's project. I'm not too sure. But you know, we haven't checked on this construction project in a while, so let's go ahead and cross the street and look at it from the other angle. But it's strange seeing it because there was a few times when I would walk up and down Broadway and see Sean Diddy Combs and his son eating at the restaurant. And now the building is completely gone. That's wild. It actually exposes the back of this building. Well, let's cross one more time so you can see it a little bit better. But yeah, it's all but totally taken down now. Now we're on the corner of West 54th Street and Broadway, and it's gone. Crazy, right? Wow. I mean, not exaggerating, that building must have been vacant and abandoned for 10 years in one of the most desirable parts of Manhattan. It was just disgusting what they let happen to that building. It was condemned, it was run down, there was like a big homeless encampment, people shooting heroin around it, and now it's finally been demolished. I'm very, very excited to see what's going to go in its place. But it's cool that it kind of exposes some of the other buildings that you originally didn't get to see. Like you can see the very, very top of Steinway Tower here. I'm sure many of the New Yorkers in the chat remember quite vividly walking past this building, but it'll be an interesting memory. All right, right here is the Ed Sullivan Theater, where they do the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. And if you continue all the way down Broadway, it's going to run you directly into Times Square. Wow, I am me. It says, hey Tom, I had a friend who worked at Bad Boy. He's really successful today. That's crazy. He's probably, well, that was his old office, what used to be. You can imagine all the big names that would walk in and out of that office, the musical talent at least. Hopefully not any of the nefarious activity that's being alleged. Someone says, hey Tom, the Cricket World Cup is in the USA, biggest match today. Oh yeah, somebody told me about that. I think that's taking place in Nassau County, is that correct? The big cricket match, the World Cup in cricket. Match is taking place somewhere in Nassau County. That's really cool. Now, I'm not a huge fan of cricket, but it's interesting because it's not popular in America, but it's intriguing to kind of watch the sport because I'm so unfamiliar with it. And yeah, that's cool. I'll have to do some more research into that because maybe if there's another game in Nassau County, screw it. Maybe I'll go to a game. How cool would that be? Go to the Cricket World Cup. Hey, John G. This is a great place to sell cotton and canvas. Steve Fuzz says, hey brother, been enjoying your streams. Know any data security / privacy lawyers? Oops, lost your comment. Been a finalist with Blackstone, Capital One, HSBC, interviewed with TD Bank Tuesday, thanks. Awesome, dude. That's fantastic. What was the question exactly? Hold on, I was getting distracted. Do I know anybody at Blackstone, did you say? Hold on. Know any data security / privacy lawyers? Been a finalist with Blackstone, Capital One, HSBC, interviewed with TD Bank Tuesday. Oh, you're looking for a recommendation? Yeah, send me an email. I could send you some attorneys I know. But congrats on your success. That's fantastic. That's awesome, dude. Hopefully you can lock down a great career. It's fantastic. Speaking of Blackstone and kind of piggybacking off of our conversation about Miami, one of my tenants moved in. He's a really smart kid, good kid, from Georgia. And he's interning at Blackstone this summer, but in Miami. You know, usually a lot of those big finance internships.
You're doing a good job, man. I watch your videos.
Oh,
man.
Thank you, man. How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
Hey.
I got to shout out my homies. They told me to come track you down, man.
Oh, awesome, dude.
I knew what time it was.
Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it.
Good job, man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
Dedicated watchers now.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Have a safe night, all right?
Hey, you too. Nice meeting you.
Likewise.
Take care. But usually a lot of those finance internships are here in New York City. Not so much in Miami. The growth in Miami has mainly been some of the higher up, you know, managing directors, people at the end of their career going down to South Florida to retire. Not really younger, let's just say not, there are some younger demographic, but not usually. Usually a lot of that talent gets swept up to places like New York, Silicon Valley. Houston is a big kind of hub for that. So it's kind of cool to see, you know, at least some of that market share going to South Florida. At least more of it. Not to say that there wasn't any to begin with, but more of it is definitely coming. Yeah, it's a nice, very nice guy. He had a nice e-scooter too. I'm thinking about getting one of those e-scooters. Just kind of cruise around the city from appointment to appointment. This is the Stardust Diner. All right, we're getting a little bit distracted. We're supposed to head to the Lower East Side. Instead, we're headed towards the West Side. But since we're here, I want to show you that
the groundbreaking for the Torch, which is the new Xtel development, and then we'll double back and we'll head to the Lower East Side. Now from here you can see all the way to Radio City Music Hall. You can see the what do you call those? The lights? Fluorescent lights? There's a name for it, I forget. Western Mass Dave, says Tom. That means the skateboard has no chance. Unfortunately, yeah, skateboard's out of the question now. I've been a little bit too beaten and banged up by the skateboard. I think the scooter's a little bit more safe. Now this is that dim sum place that's supposed to be opening. There was one of our viewers said that they're just waiting. They had some issue with the lease or something like that, but this should be opening pretty soon. Ah, the neon sign. 10-4. But this is cool. Let's at least try to take a look inside. It's obviously not open yet, but the entrance is very, very cool. Now, the whole restaurant is going to be underground. You can take the stairs there or the elevator. Yeah, TK Porsche. Now, let me clarify. It's not that I can't skateboard anymore. I've taken a risk-adjusted approach here. I'm not gonna risk it commuting on the skateboard anymore and skateboarding on the streets in New York. I'll skate around my neighborhood in Miami or go to the skate park in a controlled environment. But I think I've reached the age of gone are the days of beaming in and out of the cars on the skateboard. And we've done plenty of that in our day. Let's just say that. Oh, this is that, what is that, Game of Thrones thing? House of Dragon? Game of Thrones? Anybody watch that TV series? Apparently that's one of the, or if not the most popular television series ever, right, of all time. Any Game of Thrones fans in the audience? I've seen a few episodes of that. Yeah, Brad's brains, to translate to Tom, is older now. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think, and I could kind of feel it too. Like, gone are the days. Like, I could go, skateboard around all day, have a big wipeout, blow my side open or blow my head open, and throw a paper towel over it, and then the next day just jump right back up. No body aches, no nothing. But now if I take a spill on anything, like, you're kind of feeling it the next morning. Not gonna lie. Eric's is not a fan, but my daughter loves it. Some people are obsessive about it. I've seen a few episodes of Game of Thrones. I like it. It's kind of cool. It's just long though. I think each episode's like 2 hours. This is a cool little hotel here.
I've never seen it.
Empire Steakhouse. Looks good, but it's not busy. Look at the facade of the Mayfair Hotel. Oh, New England Crypto, happy birthday. Almost a May birthday. I think this time of year is probably the best time to have a birthday. Just starting summer, kicking things off. Look at this place. Fine food, wine and beer, spirits, and champagne. I think the facade's pretty interesting and unique, right? Man, the inside's wild. It is such a cool inside. I'm not sure if you guys can see in there, but it's cool in there. It's cool. All right, Numora coming up on right now. There's a new hotel that just opened right here, Hotel Theta. It's actually pretty nice inside. I think that was Super Mario in that little slingshot. But if you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, oh yeah, this is the front door to it. Hold on. I was in here not last week, 2 weeks ago. One of our clients stayed here. It's really nice in the lobby and the rooms are actually pretty big. I didn't think I was gonna like it, being that it's on the outskirts of Times Square, but it's pretty nice. So if you're looking to stay in and around the Times Square area, I'd recommend this hotel. The rooms are big, very, very big. If you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. We do these live streams every day, starting at 8:45. Usually 8:45. Engine 54, Ladder 4, Battalion 9, FDNY. You have New York's bravest. The best to ever do it right here. This is the corner of West 48th Street and 8th Avenue. Two more blocks, we're going to be at New York City's Restaurant Row. If you make a right, that's going to take you into Hell's Kitchen. Hey, the Austin Tennis, what's up? Any updates on your job offer at Cloudflare? Did you accept that? I forget. If you did, congrats. That's awesome. I think you're going to do really, really well there. I think you're going to be really successful, and I think you'll make a lot of money. Oh, I wonder what's going on over here. Manhattan Theater Club. It says Mary Jane. Oh, cool. Austin Tennis says I'm starting next week. Wow, good for you, man. I'm happy for you. I think you're going to do really, really well. Seems a bit dangerous with all the traffic coming down and people trying to jaywalk. Now this was like last year, but we caught we saw Hugh Jackman coming out of one of these last year. It's a talented guy. I think he's best known for Wolverine. Now, here is the question of the night. Since the Austin Tennis is going to be in a revenue generating position at Cloudflare, does this mean I need to put on call back spreads a year out as we're going to be listening to the earnings report and they're going to be saying we've been growing our account base in the enterprise of $1 million a year, or $1 million accounts ARR? Is this an opportunity to front run Cloudflare? Just kidding. Maybe not. We'll see. Man, the city is rocking today. And the summer's only just started. All right, so here we've officially reached our destination, 46th Street and 8th Avenue. This is where Xtel is going to be building the torch. 788th Avenue. This thing is going to be unbelievable. 850 room hotel. There's going to be a drop head attraction on the top. This is Gary Burnett's essentially newest development in New York City. That's going to sit right here on the corner of 46th Street.
Dude, where you at?
All right, we'll kind of pull off to the side. This is it. You can see the foundation all the way down there. This is crazy. So again, if for those of you who are not familiar, go to Google Images and type in the torch Xtel New York City, and you'll see what the building is going to look like. This is the foundation. They just poured the concrete. Pretty cool. Brad's brain says, I don't think I've ever seen it this busy on a walk. Yeah, I think this summer is probably going to be the most touristed summer in New York City's history. That's my prediction. Seems like all of 8th Avenue is pretty lively tonight. Western Mass. Dave says that foundation kind of reminds me of Ground Zero World Trade Center back in the day. You know, Dave, it's crazy. When we were in Miami and when we were looking at the Waldorf Astoria residences, that kind of gave me a flashback to like 2004, going to the Ground Zero site and seeing that big just pit. Definitely very similar. All right, the Row, New York City. Now, this hotel is the biggest migrant center in all of New York. And we're about to be at the Port Authority bus terminal, which I also believe is going to be redeveloped too, which is good. Now that I'm back in New York, I kind of want to get pizza somewhere. See, when you're in Florida, and I'm going to be generalizing, sorry to all of our Floridians, there's really not any good places to get pizza down there. There's a few good places, but the quality is not like here. Yeah, Anthony's just look at all the trash on the ground. That's one thing that's such a difference between New York and Miami. It's just the garbage everywhere. It's true. There's just trash everywhere. That's the main downside of New York. Just littered everywhere. Hopefully sanitation will find a way to correct that problem somehow. The Westin York. Positive Princess says nothing beats New York. I agree. New York is definitely by far the greatest city on earth. You can really feel the energy when you're here. All right, everybody, here's the Port Authority bus terminal. So much traffic, crazy, crazy. You have food delivery bicycle guys. Everybody's clanging and banging on the horn. Look at this guy playing the sax. should we dare to venture down 42nd Street? So there used to be a big McDonald's here. Who's old enough to remember that? Anybody old enough to remember walking down 42nd Street and there was that huge McDonald's? I remember when that closed down too. All right, we're gonna check the battery here in a moment. It's right where it says this retail opportunity. That's where that, I should say, the flagship McDonald's was. Yeah, it used to be right here. Hey, Haas Manning, what's up? This is Good Evening, Tom. Totally remember the McDonald's right here. You know, Haas Manning, you know where I was today? I was at the living room at 157. That's where I had dinner tonight. I know you love that building. I think I've now gone from loving 157 to having like a crazy obsession with it, where I feel as if within my lifetime I gotta have a unit there. Maybe it'll be like a, we'll call it manifestation. Man, really, really crowded here. Let's see if we can waddle our way through. There's a Broadway show coming out, that's why. Aladdin. I actually wouldn't mind going to see this. Let's thread the needle here. These guys are about to be hustled by these people. All right, let's make a right here. And we'll head down towards 34th Street, Penn Station. I don't think I've ever seen Times Square this crowded, I don't think. All right, I think we're gonna have to tap out. I think I've had enough stimulation for one night. Hey. Oh, how are you? Oh, how are you?
I watch you every
Thank
night
you so
from
much.
Kansas City.
I just show her around.
Nice to meet you.
She said she watches you. I
Oh,
love
awesome. Thank you so much.
This is my Mother's Day gift, meeting you.
Oh, awesome. Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you. What is your name?
I'm Cindy.
Cindy, nice to meet you.
I
Thomas.
watch you every night.
Oh, thank you for watching. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
You.
Oh, thank you so
We're
much.
tracking you. It's like almost delayed.
Oh,
I
yeah?
wanted to
I'm
meet
checking.
you.
Oh, just watch out. The traffic's coming.
I wanted to meet you.
Oh, but it was a pleasure meeting you guys. Yeah, and thank
Yes,
you for
honey,
watching.
you have a great
Have a
night.
wonderful night. Be safe. Thank you so much. Those are nice people. Cindy from the chat. Very cool. I felt bad we were in the middle of the freeway while I was talking. That's so funny. Very nice. Thank you guys for watching. Cindy. Now I have a question. So Red Lobster filed for bankruptcy. Does that mean this Red Lobster right here is closed down? I'm actually curious. Sorry to cross back over the street, but I think they're still open because bankruptcy, most businesses still stay open while they're doing the liquidation process. Yeah, they are. Red Lobster's still here. I mean, this Red Lobster's been here for, I mean, my God, so long. All right, I gotta put you guys down here because, what was that? Shuffle dating. I'd be petrified to scan the QR code on that. Anyway, give me a second. I think we're back. Yeah, you know, that kind of sucks if this is going to close down. I don't go to Red Lobster a whole lot, but finance topics. I know it's Saturday, but it's so difficult to make those type of businesses profitable at scale, unless it's some sort of quick service restaurant or fast casual. There's very, very little margin in the restaurant business for sit-down restaurant at scale. It's difficult. Hey, the Papa Smurf OG, the FDNY in the house. Thank you, Tom, for all you do, my friend. Your work never goes unnoticed. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Your work doesn't go unnoticed either, my friend. For those of you who don't know the OG here and his FDNY buddies joining on the stream, we appreciate the New York's bravest. All right, I think I gotta make a move around here. Usually the foot traffic doesn't go down this far, but it is good to see tourism coming back to the city in a major way. A lot of the restaurants, small businesses definitely deserved it after the, you know, what happened. I can't believe there's a line for that dollar slice place. No Mikey says, what's the best pizza in New York? Well, I have the best pizza spot, and then I have my favorite pizza spot. It's two different ones. I think the best one is Defara, but it's so far away that I never get to go to it. So I'd say that's probably number one. It's in Brooklyn. I think they opened a satellite location by the South Street Seaport. But if you're looking for top quality pizza and no wait, like, you can just walk in, walk out anytime you want. Made in New York Pizza is a really good spot, particularly on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. It's really good. Now, there was some interesting litigation, some pizza litigation here in New York between Made in New York Pizza and Prince Street Pizza. Allegedly, the guy who broke off and opened up Made in New York Pizza, which I think is coming up just on the right, another location. Apparently he used to work at Prince Street and stole the recipe, allegedly, and then opened up his own spot. So there's some pizza battle going on in New York. I don't know if that was ever settled or not. Yeah, Anthony P. What is that place called in Dumbo right under the bridge there? It's not Grimaldi's, because Grimaldi's is on one Front Street. But I think I know what you're talking about. It's that place literally right under the bridge on that cobblestone street. I've never been in there, but Adam Luke, thanks so much for your... Oh, that's Made in New York Pizza right here. Thank you so much for your generous $10 donations. This is excitement level 10 out of 10 tonight. Miami is 10 out of 10, picture perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's definitely a nice contrast for sure. I mean, like I said, there's no place in the world like New York City in the summer. It's just the energy, it's amazing. But in the winter, this place will wear you down. I will say that. Maybe not, I won't speak for anybody else, but this city wears me down in the winter. It's a grind. So if you could have that happy medium of, South Florida, I think it's a pretty good mix. There used to be this other spot that I think closed down now. I want to say it was in Fort Greene, right as you're walking towards the Navy Yard. I just forget the name of it, but I used to go there a lot when I was a kid. I just forget the name. Zozo Bob's. Tom, the #1 route in the United States is New York City and Miami. 10,000 passengers a day. That's crazy. Well, my flight was so packed. My flight was absolutely packed, and you even had people waiting, asking to get a spot for standby. But I believe it's Zozo Bob because, I think it is Ignazio's Pizza, Nick. I'm gonna have to go back on Google Maps and check, but I think it may be Ignazio's. It definitely rings a bell. That's the place right in Dumbo. But yeah, look, even if you're commuting, if you get a 6 a.m. flight out of Miami International Airport, you land at JFK at 9, and you can make your meeting at 11 o'clock in the morning in Midtown Manhattan. People do that. And oftentimes, if you take an Uber, your Uber ride from JFK or LaGuardia into Manhattan is probably twice as expensive as the airfare, which is crazy to think about. Steve Buffalo's is the Living Room restaurant at 57th. Good. It's very good. But I will say it's expensive. It's an expensive place, but it's very cool. I think like for a one-time thing, I would check it out, Steve, because okay, here's how you get there. Go to the Park Hyatt Hotel, walk in the entrance, take the elevator to the lobby. When you're in the lobby, the doors are going to open up right into the living room. And it's such a cool place. It's a cool environment. I even think they may have live music on Thursdays. But the staff is amazing. The staff is really, really cool. The 2 bartenders there. If you go there, Amanda is like such a crazy talented bartender. And she's so nice. I don't drink alcohol, but whenever I go there with clients and things like that. But check it out, 57th Street, it's called the Living Room. And that is the restaurant that caters to the Park Hyatt. So it's very good. It's a little pricey, some of the entrees, but you could even go there for dessert. The desserts are really good too. And they're made right there. All right, here's the Empire State Building. We finally made it to 34th Street. Yeah, Lee says it's faster to fly from Miami to JFK than to drive from New York City to Massapequa, particularly on a Friday at 2 o'clock during the summer. I mean, good luck. You might as well just spend the night, because most people in the city, they take a half day on Fridays in the summer and they drive out to the Hamptons, and it just absolutely clogs up the expressway. And good luck if you live out east in Suffolk County. Because as you go to the Hamptons, and this is kind of one reason why I think the Hamptons is just a tad overrated now. It literally can't sustain the population of the people there in the summer. It's just not, it doesn't have the infrastructure. If you've ever driven to the Hamptons, it's, there's one road. There's literally one road that goes in and out. And you could be sitting there for 2 hours in traffic just to get 2 miles up the road. Okay, everybody, this is another big new development here. This is the Penn 2 project. This is the brand new entrance to the Long Island Railroad. You could also get the 123 AC&E train down here. And they have a brand new entrance to Madison Square Garden. It's all brand new, it's big, tall ceiling heights, expanded sidewalk, and now all of the scaffolding is down. All of the road construction is down. It's awesome. Anthony P says, yeah, Montauk Highway was a joke. It's terrible. I mean, don't get me wrong. Hamptons is beautiful, but I don't know. I think for the price, maybe a little bit too much. I don't mind Jones Beach. I think Jones Beach is the best. I actually prefer Jones Beach to the beaches down in South Florida, because when you're at Jones Beach, it's just like a whole experience. The boardwalk, the shopping, the restaurants, it's just like, maybe you have a little bit of nostalgia as a kid, you know, being from Massapequa, but that's another thing. If you've been to Jones Beach, but it's been over 5 years, they totally redid Jones Beach. They built it up. It's amazing. It's awesome. So for those of you who haven't seen it, what do you guys think of the brand new Penn 2 project? This is also run by Vornado. So if you remember from a little bit while ago in our live stream, we talked about 220 Central Park South. Steve Roth, well, he also did this. And I think he did a really good job. And this is in hopes to revitalize the once dead Penn District, and I think it's working so far. There's a lot of people. You can notice how people are taking pictures of this. Before, you would never come to Penn Station to take photos, unless you were taking photos of some crazy, you know, fight or crime going on. You know, now you have beautiful architecture, you have restaurants. There's a reason for people to come here. And I think they did a really good job. If the internet works, let's go inside the newer entrance to Madison Square Garden. And also Hotel Pennsylvania is totally taken down now. So it's this big empty lot. I kind of hope they leave this as an empty lot because you have this iconic view of the Empire State Building. Before you couldn't see it because the Hotel Pennsylvania was here. Hey, Jonathan from Florida. Good to see you. Good to see you. Be safe. Take care. DC322 says that was sad to see the hotel being torn down. Not really. I mean, I get what you're saying, but that hotel was like really not good. Because it was old. It was really, really old. Hey, there's even, I think this is new, right? They never had the furniture here before. Out and about. That was the entrance I came out of when I was there for the first time when I visited in 2019. Yeah, and I think that's why it's very, very important to have it look like this and not look like what it looked like before. Because first impressions, particularly in a major city like New York, it's important. I always would say that to my friends because I'm in Penn Station all the time. It's the Long Islander, right? When I would commute back and forth Long Island here, I'm like, if you're coming here from another country and this is the first thing you see, I'm like, this place looks like a freaking dump. It's horrible. It's terrible. So it's like, I would be embarrassed. I was embarrassed. You know, you're all excited to come to New York and your first impression is a dingy, disgusting, dark Penn Station. So I think this is what New York deserves. I think this is what our tourists deserve. There's something a little bit nicer to look at. So, and we finally got it. This is the, this is a cool shot here, Madison Square Garden, and that Madison Square Garden sign right here, and the Empire. And I think this is the Jersey Transit. Yeah, Transit. Yeah, this is the New Jersey, the new New Jersey Transit escalator. All right, let's continue on. You know, since it's so busy tonight, I want to go to Koreatown. This is a really quick reminder, everybody, to check your email, because Thursday I sent out our free investing newsletter. So check your spam if you didn't get it. But I think this article that we just sent is a pretty important one. And if you want to sign up to receive all of our equity research for free, also receive a lot of our New York City property tours for free, just scan the QR code on your screen, punch in your email, and it's going to take you to our Substack. Again, we publish every other Thursday, right as the market is closing. And we have about 2 years of archived research available for you for free on Substack. All right, let's head to Koreatown now. I don't know if we're gonna have enough time to go to the Lower East Side. We've already almost been streaming for 2 hours. And we now have 5,000 readers, which I really, really do appreciate. It's finally not like crazy loud. I think this walking bridge, the old department store that was competing with Macy's back in the day. I think we have enough battery now to navigate here. Peters says 10% of your channel subscribers are readers of the newsletter. I don't know if that's a good or bad statistic. I think that's really good. It's so difficult to convert people from different mediums, and not a lot of people are interested in the what do you call it, like the detailed analysis. But I think that's very, very good conversion rate, because it's so difficult to convert from platform to platform. Also, what's really helpful is I've noticed, obviously I would never share all this information, but a lot of people sign up with their corporate email accounts, which helps a lot. So thank you for that. Yeah, I think along with the equity research, we have something interesting coming soon. Can't say quite yet until we have all of the legalese, but we are starting our very own startup, which I think is going to be quite intriguing to most. It's not a retail product, but the goal is to take on a lot of the equity research departments at some of the big investment banks. And I think we could do it through an interesting way. But anyway. Wow, welcome to Koreatown, 32nd Street, Korea Way. And we're here outside of H Mart, which is arguably the best grocery store in the world. Now, I always thought this was just exclusively a Korean grocery store, but it's not. I never read the Asian supermarket there. It's from all over, but the first time I've been here is when my Korean friend took me. So that's why I thought H Mart was just Korean stuff, but it's not. Great grocery store. Across the street is the Tout de Jour. And over here is the Sorimara. Now let's stand back here a little bit so I can show you Gray Street. If you're visiting New York, this is a pretty cool place to come. Gray Street in Koreatown. Sharon sounds interesting. Sharon, if you send me an email, I know you're interning at Charles Schwab now, right? But if you send me an email, I'll tell you about it, and maybe, who knows, maybe you'll be our like first or second hire if you're interested in what we're doing. But we're actively looking for a software engineer. So we're currently interviewing for those positions. So if you are a software engineer, or you know somebody who wants to work at a startup in New York, now we're not going to pay you much. I don't have much money to pay you, but you do get equity. The salary will probably be right around $65,000, but I think the equity package could be significant if it pans out the way that I think. So let me know. Send us an email at walkswallstreet@gmail.com. All right, we're back to 5th Avenue. To the left, there's this interesting tea place. Sorry. I might as well show you the tea place. Forget the name, that's why I have to walk over here. But it's good, and it's open late. I think it's open like 3 a.m. Prince Tea House. Oh, never mind. It's open at 1 a.m. It's still late. Brad's brains just take it public. I want in. I think one step at a time. One step at a time. But I'm excited about it. I think I believe, this is my opinion, the way let's just say traditional institutional research departments are run and operated are very outdated, and also not a lot of clients read these big lengthy equity research reports anymore, and they're getting charged a ton for the data, and the open rates are, yeah, I don't want to disclose too much, but I think it'll be very, very good. But a traditional equity research department at a major bank is completely ripe for disruption. And these tell me you'd be crowdfunding. No, it's all my money. Not all of it, but it's going to be bootstrapped. Could somebody look up why the Empire State Building's lit up in red? I really like the color scheme. It's a unique color scheme. All right, I think there was somebody asking for restaurant recommendations. Hey, Sonia C. What's up? Welcome back to New York. Real Art Manifest is $18 tea. So it's a little bit deceiving. I probably should have explained it. It's like a whole big thing. It's not like you get one cup of tea. It comes out with like small snacks. It's like a sit-down thing. It could probably feed like 4 to 5 people. So it seems overpriced, but it's not. It's supposed to be feeding like 4 or 5 people. Take you guys to Take 31 again. Someone says the Empire State Building is red in honor of Black Music Month. Cool. Does red signify something specific? Excuse me if I sound ignorant, but maybe that's the color for something? I don't know. I like the color scheme though. I give it 2 thumbs up. Alrighty, friends. If you've been watching the broadcast for a long time, you've probably heard of this probably 1,000 or so times now, but for those of you who are new to the broadcast, and if you're visiting New York City this summer, come to West 31st Street in between 5th and Madison. There's these 2 really good restaurants right here. Right here where this gentleman is going in the door is called Take 31. T-A-K-E 31. And the restaurant just to the right of it is, her name is Han. 2 really, really good restaurants. I'll show you the menu of Take 31. Now it's Korean food, but it's a little different. It's like Korean fusion food, and I come here all the time, and it's pretty spectacular. And the prices is not too horrible. It's like $17-18 a plate. I always get this one. And then there's one more dish I get. The pork belly one and this one. Anyway, it's very, very good. And so is this place. Same owner, by the way. Western Mass Dave. I think I did, but whenever I'm down in Miami now, I put on crazy sunscreen. When I was a kid, I didn't use any sunscreen ever. I would be outside all day playing soccer. Now I put on 70 SPF. I don't want to risk it. I'm trying to get in front of all the potential things that happen as you get older. And I don't think I could survive Miami without any sunscreen. I don't want to get skin cancer. So I put on 70 SPF. Especially when I'm riding the Vespa. I mean, if you're sitting at a red light, you're cooking on the asphalt there. Hey, Cape Cod Sarah. Mark Francis is a skin cancer survivor, always use sunscreen. Dude, trust me. I have a lot of coworkers who had skin cancer, well, former coworkers, and they've always said, dude, when you're young and you're in your 20s, you feel as if you're invincible. They're like, but trust me, in your 40s, that stuff comes back to bite you. So I am really on it now. Because I used to use zero, like none. Purposely go out with zero SPF. But be the top of the hour. Someone says the real reason the Empire State Building is red is for Trump. That's hilarious. There's no way in hell that would ever happen in a million years. The city of New York doing anything for Trump. That's funny though. But yeah, I think I got a little tan, Dave. I think I did. To answer your question, I think so. But I get tan easily, very easily. I think in my family, we're half Irish, half Italian. I think I took over the majority of my Italian side, the more sallow style skin. It's interesting because half my family doesn't get tan at all. Like they burn bad, like crazy bad. And half of us get so tan where it's like almost ridiculously too noticeable, like where you should probably stay out of the sun because you're getting so dark. Ah, Yankees jerseys. Makes me want to go to a Yankee game this year. JK, yes, says you're still young. No, for sure. But I think, I don't know. I want to try to be proactive. I do believe that walking, like I've read tons of studies that walking is even better than running for your cardiovascular system. And I mean, my God, I think we have that front covered pretty good with the walking. Sharon says, have you visited Ireland? I haven't, but the rest of my family has. Pretty much every time, like my whole family has visited, but not me. I just stay put here in New York. I don't know why. I've just been too busy working. I was like a workaholic, even still to this day. But I'd love to go to Italy. I'd love to go to Ireland. Yeah, I've told this story many times, but my great-grandfather came to New York City through Ellis Island, and he opened up a bunch of bars. So the Hannon family used to own quite a few bars in the Times Square neighborhood. We used to own. And all throughout Prohibition, ran some speakeasy bars. And we have some cool photos in the family of my great-grandfather behind the bar with all, and it's funny photos because they have, in the bar, you have the mobsters and you have the police officers too. So Jip the Blood is one you could look up. And back in the day, a lot of those families, the Irish Italians, resided in Ozone Park, Queens, right by the John Adams High School. That's still there. I don't think it's a high school anymore, but, and it's funny because Ozone Park now there's not a lot of Italians and Irish anymore. It's actually quite, I think there's a lot of Puerto Ricans there now. So neighborhoods change. Neighborhoods change. cross back over by Penn Station. Oh, Brad, very cool. I think it's a passion project. I would love to. Now, I think we've had this conversation before, but let's say if money didn't matter, like, you know, let's just say I won the lottery or something, right? I was a billionaire, something, whatever. I think I would be a bartender if like money didn't matter and I could just do whatever I wanted. I think I would do that. Not to say that bartenders don't make much money. In New York City you can, but I think I'd be really good at it just because it's fascinating. Get to see all these people, build relationships with your customers, chat them up. I'm a big talker, if you haven't noticed. I think it'd be fun, especially in a city like New York. You have your regulars that come in, good vibes. So maybe I'll open like a speakeasy, something like that. MDs, same, would love to own a bar. Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I don't know if it'd be profitable. It's very difficult, but I think it'd be fun. MD says, what would your bar be called? That's good. Maybe I just call it Behind the Street, like our newsletter that you should subscribe to. Behind the Street bar. I would, if it's possible, I would try to find a place to open it up on Park Avenue. I kind of like that feel, kind of like the Campbell bar, but very limited retail space on Park. And maybe I would make it kind of like a old school bucket shop vibe. Because back in the day, right, speaking of reminiscences of a stock operator, Jesse Livermore, the way you would trade stocks is you would go into the individual bucket shops. So maybe I would have like old ticker tape, like an old library, to kind of make it that style kind of vibe. I think it'd be cool. Who knows? Maybe I'll do that as a passion project. Many, many years down the line. So there's this co-op building just adjacent Carnegie Hall. I'm forgetting the name. I don't understand how I forget the name. It's been a long day. Let me see if I have a picture of it, because you guys got to see this. I think I got it. I'll upload it in a second. I think Billy Joel may be getting out. Alright, so here is the place. All right, can you guys see that on the screen? Well, if you can, there is this thing ever. I'm just forgetting the name of the buildings. But it's right across the street from Alwyn Court, and it's for sale. But the whole apartment is like this 2-story library. It's unbelievable. The Osborne, you're right. TV, correct. So maybe, like, that's the exact style that I would want to build it out, just like that. So check it out. If you go to streeteasy.com or just type in the Osborne, New York City, you'll see this listing. It is a crazy, crazy place. It's a beautiful library. It has all this amazing wood paneling. But that's kind of the vibe. But guys, I'm gonna try to get some sleep tonight. I have an early start tomorrow. But if you guys enjoyed the live broadcast tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you want to sign up for our free investing newsletter, you could do so by scanning the QR code on your screen and punching in your email. We send out all of our free research every other Thursday, right as the market closes. So thank you for joining. Welcome back to New York City, and we will see you all soon. So out and about, Adam, Luke, Liz, Dante, Kimberly, Western Mass Dave, New England Crypto, JK, Cape Cod, Sarah, MD. Always a bull market somewhere. You just need to know where to look. See you guys right back here tomorrow night starting at 8:45. Thanks so much.